Hey friends, welcome to the July Fragrance Awards Show. I'm going to share with you the fragrances that I wore in the month of July and assign them into award categories just for fun, just to share with you how I feel about them. I'm a little bit late with this month's award show because I've been actually out trying to live my best summer life. We recently came back from a vacation to Cabo San Lucas. If you're interested in hearing about my life, vacation, makeup, home products, things like that, ponderings in this brain, head on over to Everyday Veronica, where we talk about all those life things. And I will be posting a vlog soon of our trip to Cabo San Lucas. So in the meantime, let's talk about the July fragrances. We're going to start off with the category of favorite blind buy. We all know that I love to blind buy fragrances, and I have to go with Laura Mercier Almond Coconut. I have Ambree Vanille from this line, which is called the Eau Gourmand line from Laura Mercier. It's a makeup company, and they have this line of gourmand fragrances. Ambree Vanille is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. Definitely get a nutty vibe here. Definitely get a coconutty vibe. You also get a little bit of hint of powder and sweetness in here. One of the reasons that this is my favorite blind buy is because it actually lasted on me, I would say at least 6-ish hours. I did spray a lot for this. This is my second wear, but on that second wear, I did drag this down a bit here. But I also layered it over the almond coconut, what is it called? Body cream from Laura Mercier. If you're not familiar with these Laura Mercier body creams, definitely take a look at them. Find them on discount sites. Do not pay the full $72 retail price for these. Guys, it's just lotion. Let's not get crazy, but they're really, really delicious. These two layered together smelled fantastic, and this and the others in this line serve as a beautiful base for summer, coconutty, gourmand kinds of fragrances, and sometimes your winter fragrances too, in the same way that you would layer fragrances over the Boom Boom Cream from Sol de Janeiro. In the category of best bottle is a fragrance that could have been in a couple of the other categories too, and it might surprise you. It could have been the biggest surprise, which is coming up later, and it is this one, Lotus Seychelles from the Coco de Mer Cosmetics Company. Yep, that's what it's called. So when I talked about this in my Blind Buy Chronicles Volume 2, I think it was, I joked around about the fact that I really, really like this bottle, but the top is in the shape of the Coco de Mer coconut fruit thing because it looks like a butt. But I really do like this bottle. This is a very hefty bottle. I love the reflection on this. I love the lines on this, that it's clean and fancy at the same time. And I like this like spaceship, you know, spinny top kind of a top. So this is really good. If you're curious about the fragrance itself, it could have been in the biggest surprise category because I wasn't sure in the Blind Buy Chronicles if I was going to really love this or not. It starts off with this sharp, citrusy, nearly green opening that's very like strong. It smacks you in the face and it's just on the edge of being off-putting without actually being off-putting. But then within minutes, I'd say 15 minutes or so, something like that, this actually settles down into this very pleasant green but tart fragrance. I mean tart in like the grapefruity sense, but it also has this underlying sweetness to it. It settles down into, there's a note of lemongrass in here, so it does smell like a lemongrass tea. If you've ever had lemongrass tea like out there in the world, in the woods, wherever lemongrass is grown. I had it in Ecuador in the hills on a farm, and the lemongrass was grown there. It was really, really good. Anyway, this smells like a nice dulled out lemongrass tea with some coconut in the background. Very interesting fragrance, and the part that surprises me is that my family here loved it. I sprayed it, I kind of oversprayed it, went downstairs, everyone said I smell good, which listen, when you have as picky as people as I have in my house, 3 kids and a husband that all have very different tastes, and they all like it, then I call it a winner. So it's bizarre and lovely at the same time. In the category of worst bottle, and I say this cheekily because I think I actually also like this bottle, but there's no denying among the fragrances that I wore in July, Central Park West is the gaudiest, trying to do the most, trying the hardest to be that it girl. I love my Bond No. 9 bottles. I love the shape of them. I love that they represent neighborhoods or streets in New York. But this look here, this like houndstooth look that was a big thing in the late 80s into the early 90s with this, what's supposed to be jewelry. I mean, like it literally has a clasp on the back. Like you can wear that if you want to, like a brooch. Hello. But this fragrance is really beautiful. Husband loves it. This is gardenia and jasmine. There's a lang-a-lang. There's a linden blossom note in here, musk. It's a beautiful white and and floral with touches of yellow floral and a muskiness to it that I think is just rather lovely. It starts off slightly plasticky, and if you can make it through that opening and let it sort of settle and breathe on your skin, it's a crowd pleaser. So Central Park West, ugliest bottle, but also kind of cute and gaudy and kitschy and lovely fragrance. Next, we're going to go to the category of sexiest fragrance, and I have two here. So let me pause and give myself a big pat on the back because, as I mentioned, I went on vacation and I took something in the neighborhood of 10 travel sprays with me, and I actually made it through, y'all. I'm talking about down to the last drop where you and nothing else is coming out. I made it through about 6 or 7 of those sprays on vacation. Woo! I have so many travel sprays that I need to get through. It's ridiculous, and I have vowed not to buy them anymore until I get through the ones that I have because it's quite ridiculous. So I took a travel spray of this next one, and I was a bit surprised at how much I fell back in love with it. I liked it when I bought it. I liked it a lot. Wasn't sure if I loved it head over heels, but Cloud from Ariana Grande. Yes, I still have it in the My Little Pony playset plastic thing. The bottle itself is okay, but y'all, this thing. But anyway, this fragrance. So I have to say, I didn't pick up the coconut in this in all the other previous times I've worn it, but in the heat, and y'all, if you've been to Cabo San Lucas, the heat can be like overbearing, overwhelming. Not humid heat, it's a dry desert kind of heat, but it's heat is heat. The coconut really blossomed in a really lovely way. I would say the coconut here in the heat is soft, it's sensuous, and it's almost creamy. Some of the coconuts and other fragrances are either airy or maybe on the woody side. This is a really pretty one. Anyway, you get whipped cream also and praline, a little bit of fruity notes at the top, and then there's a woodiness in the base. But husband loved this on me. I sprayed it and I was several rooms over and he, what are you wearing? That smells so beautiful. Anyway, I ended up spraying this on an evening out for dinner and it was just a winner. So of course I doused myself in it several times. And then another very, very sexy scent that I wore, not in Cabo, but another full day is from Michael Malul and it's Atara. I adore this stuff. If I run out, I will seriously consider repurchasing. It's similar to the DNA of like Sea Intense from Armani or any of those fragrances that have a heavy black currant note where it's syrupy sweet. Same thing here. There's tonka bean in here. There's vanilla, there's praline. There's even a pear note at the top. So it's a very, very, if you're not into sweet fragrances, skip. If you love those like ultra feminine, bomb fragrances that are super duper sweet, where, somebody wants to nuzzle into your neck, this is a good one, Atara. The next category is an everyday fragrance, something you can wear running around to all errands and all occasions and not offend anyone. And I used up the travel spray of this, so I don't have it to show. And I'm considering a full bottle. It is Pear Inc. from Juliet Has a Gun. Now, forget the fact that it's called a pear fragrance. You get very, very little pear in here. Yes, you smell a little bit, but that's not what this is about. This reminds me of those molecular fragrances like Eccentric Molecule 01, except with a lot more of a shampoo-y touch. So imagine those kinds of like airy molecular fragrances with clean shampoo smell. Very light, very bright, very simple. Nothing complicated about this. Everyday grab and go kind of a fragrance. Husband liked it too. And like I say, with the picky people in my house, if I get thumbs up from husband or kids, it's definitely going on the wish list or must-have list, depending on what it is. But Pear Inc., one that people have really forgotten about since its release because I think it's fairly unremarkable. But it is remarkable in the sense that it was liked and it was clean and lovely, and one that I wore on the plane going into Cabo and wore while I was there. And everyone said I smelled nice without being overpowering. So in the category of best gift, meaning something you can give to someone that's probably universally likable, I normally go for safe choices because of the nature of the fragrances that I wore this month. It being July and me wearing a lot of the summer fragrances with all of the coconut and all of that suntan lotion vibes and everything. I had to shift the strategy for this category slightly to fragrances I think most of the ladies in your life might enjoy, and perhaps some of the gentlemen as well. And I'm embarrassed to show this one because I still haven't found the scarf or a scarf that belongs to her. And it's La Vie Belle L'Eclat. When I first got this, I was actually annoyed by the cute little silver scarf that comes on this and I got rid of it. But anyway, I'm making my way through this bottle and really do enjoy it when I wear it and forget that I have it sometimes because there's always new releases or other blind buys to pay attention to. This one has stood the test of time though in my collection. Beautiful orange blossom heavy fragrance. It opens up a little bit citrusy, but then settles down into that orange blossom with some other white florals. There's jasmine sambac. It does have some of the original La Vie Belle DNA, meaning some of that patchouli, sandalwoody kind of a base. But by and large, this is an orange blossom forward fragrance. And I just feel really pretty and feminine when I put this on. And gosh, this could have gotten the best bottle award, especially if I still had the little scarf. So La Vie Belle Le Clat is a gorgeous choice for a gift. There is some similarity between this one and my other choice, which is one, y'all, I'm starting to see people get sick of this on YouTube, and I just don't understand it because I really, really love this fragrance so, so much and want to finish my way through this so I can get a big bottle. This is Dolce & Gabana, the Only One Intense Eau de Parfum. Another beautiful year-round fragrance, but shines. It just kind of hits different in the summer. Some people call this a coconut fragrance, and yes, it does have a nice coconut in there, but the similarity is the orange blossom between the two. This one has a heavy dose of vanilla. It opens up super bright with this neroli and apple note that's just, it's happy and it's beautiful, and then it starts to settle down into this jasmine, coconut, orange blossom fragrance with a base of vanilla and woods. And I think this is one that will probably stick around in my collection for a long time. I could see a lot of people who maybe don't understand a lot about a perfume really just enjoying this for what it is and not realizing that it's been out on the market for a long time and all of that. In other words, they don't need like the latest and greatest thing. They just need a nice fragrance. This is a good one along with this. In the category of best for the season, and let me just pause to say, it's July. So in June, starting in June, and definitely in July, and definitely in August, at least the beginning of August, I just crave coconut fragrances. I don't know if it's because I think I need to wear coconut, or I just want to feel like I'm on that vacation, or what it is, but coconut, 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 suntan lotion, suntan lotion, suntan lotion, yellow florals, yellow florals, yellow florals. Now, here's a funny thing that started to happen here on YouTube and also on Instagram, and we just laugh about it, is that all we did was crave the summer and coconut fragrances, and now that we're in the heat of summer, what are we craving? Our fall gourmand fragrances. So starting at the end of August, you'll see me start talking about that and start prepping us all, putting out those fall videos, those amazing, football game, chili contest, leaf raking. We don't do any of those things, but those kinds of fragrances will be coming up soon, starting in late August into September. But summer fragrances, or the best for the season, Soleil Blanc. Yes, I know, we talk about it all the time. Soleil Blanc gets so much praise, but with good reason. This beautiful, like the most exotic suntan lotion kind of a fragrance that you can imagine. I just adore it. On me, its longevity is, I would say, a half a day, and I have to top back up. I don't have the bottle. I have a dupe of it that I really enjoy, but I did take the original in a travel spray with me to Cabo and used it up. I used it up in like a day and maybe a night because I couldn't stop spraying myself. It's a very luxurious smelling coconut, suntan lotion, floral kind of a smell with a hint of greenness at the top. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to get a full bottle of it at some point. I do have Eau de Soleil Blanc, which is nice, but the Soleil Blanc is my preference of the two. I have two others that are best for the season. This is going to be a really long video, but I just have to. I know these get a lot of hype, but from Mancera, Holidays, and Coco Vanille. Both of these are powerhouses in slightly different ways. Holidays is more of the suntan lotion direction kind of a smell. It really does give you that sort of like on the beach, salty, well, it depends. In the heat, it comes across a little bit more like that salty beach air. In the coolness, like it's very humid today and a little bit cooler here than, like super July hot weather. I get more of the yellow florals kind of a thing in here. This one lasts a pretty long time and has a good projection. Now, Coco Vanille is a bit softer, a little bit more demure than your Holidays. This one is exactly as it sounds. It's coconut and it's vanilla on your skin, a little bit toned down. It's not a loud fragrance in my opinion. I find it to be a bit more on the potentially elegant side depending on how it can be a dressed up or dressed down kind of a fragrance, but Really a pleasant fragrance, and this one lasted on me, I would say, decently as well. The holidays last longer, but both of these are gorgeous for summer and vacations. And by the way, in the middle of winter, when you're craving that like summer vibe, these are nice too. In the category of the best special occasion fragrance, if I was going with a summery scent, I would say that Soleil Blanc is the winner, but I did wear YSL Libre Intense this month. I really enjoy this fragrance. Every time I put it on, I'm surprised by how beautiful it is. There's supposed to be lavender at the top and in the middle. I can't say that I get a super pronounced lavender. Like if I sit there and sniff it, I can imagine that there's lavender sort of surrounding this scent. What I get mostly out of this is this beautiful white floral fragrance with orange blossom, vanilla in the base, tonka bean. It's a very sweet, highly feminine fragrance. Oh, it's decadent. Well, see, now I sniffed it and I'm like, yeah, there's lavender in there. So again, weather conditions, your mood, what you're setting yourself up, your mind up to smell has a lot to do with what you actually pick up in a fragrance. But gorgeous for special occasion. Now I wear this to work from home. I wear this whenever I want to. I wore this to bed one night this month, but absolutely gorgeous fragrance. Among the most feminine in my collection, like definitely a date night keeper type of a fragrance. In the category of biggest surprise, I have two. Here's one that I forget that I have, give up on sometimes. I like it, but I'm not sure if I love it. And it has made its way into the I think I love it category. And it's good old Mon Guerlain. This is the Eau de Toilette concentration. I do have the intense version, which is just a beautiful date night. Another like beautiful feminine fragrance like Libre Intense. This little baby here, and I have a full, 3.4 ounce waiting to be open, but wanted to get through this first. I'm making my way through it. I wore this to bed one night and my husband just loved it. That smells so sophisticated and beautiful. He didn't know what I was wearing. I try not to tell him the name because he could be heavily influenced by like the brand. I'm like, just tell me what you think about it and then I'll tell you the name. But this one he just loved, and it gave me a different appreciation for it knowing that he enjoyed it. This one has lavender too at the top. What this gives me, it's kind of a hard fragrance to describe. It's another very clean fragrance. It reminds me of something. It brings back a scent memory that I can't quite put together, but from yesteryear. And I think there's an association. Hang on, because you're going to go, what? Coco Mademoiselle, not the fragrance, but how my aunt smelled when she wore it. The way her clothing smelled, the way her skin smelled when she wore that scent. I cannot wear Coco Mademoiselle, at least not right now. It's a little bit, there's something about it that just doesn't work for me. But the memory of that mixed with like a clean, soapy, lavendery kind of a smell is what I get out of here, with a little bit of slight powder, like a dense powder around the edges. I'm really enjoying this in a way that I didn't think that I would. And yeah, so this is a big surprise for me. The other big surprise, not because I didn't like it, I've always liked this fragrance, but I'll tell you what I mean in a minute, but it is Thank You Next from Ariana Grande. Between Cloud and this, she was doing her thing in July. Yes, we've talked about this packaging. Let me leave that alone for a minute. I consider this to be that happy summer fragrance. There's a real fruitiness to this. You get raspberry and pear at the top, and it sticks way into the mid. And then there is a coconut vibe in here with a little bit of muskiness. In the base, there's a macaron note that gives it this sweetness. I am really mad at all of you fellow reviewers that said you smell pickles in this, because if I think about it really hard, now I can too. But I don't really get that. What I think about this is fun summer, hanging out at the beach with your friends on the hammocks with your pina colada in hand with not a care in the world, but you smell young and girly. Yes, that's what this gives me, and I enjoy it for that. It makes me feel uplifted. It makes me feel youthful. It's not a serious fragrance, but it's also, it's not like, it holds its own is where I'm going. So what surprised me about this fragrance is that I sprayed it on for the day. And I don't know where I got this idea from, but decided I wanted to spray my towels with it. And I left it there. And I wash my towels once a week. Don't judge if you're the person that washes every day. That's just what we do in this house. But that entire week, I smelled this on the towels. I was like, wow, that's really special. Wow. And it just reminded me every time how lovely of a fragrance this is. So for those of you that are looking for an affordable summer fruity coconutty smell, try this out. Don't sleep on Ariana Grande fragrances. Next, we're going to do the category of not a safe blind buy, and then we'll get into my top, middle, and bottom three, as well as an overhyped and underhyped fragrance. So, not a safe blind buy, Amouage Beach Hut. One that when I first purchased it, I was like, uh-oh, what did I get myself into? Because it was a scent profile that I just wasn't super into at that moment. But I'm going to tell you what, this beauty here has really grown on me. I have a tremendous appreciation for this fragrance now. If you follow me on Instagram, it's at Veronica Says All, one word, Veronica Says All. I posted just funny reel about me trying to figure out the note of driftwood. It was a joke. There's driftwood in here, and there's also mineral notes, there's ylang-ylang, and there's patchouli in the base. When you think about the combination of those, there's something deeply, deeply woody in here that is salty. You get that like mineral salt air aspect also. This really dry, husky, like palm tree wood kind of a smell as well. And there's also some other exotic touch in here that's hard for me to describe or put my finger on. I feel very sophisticated when I wear this fragrance because it is unique and hard to figure out. It's a complex fragrance, but it's also pleasant in the air. So a beautiful one if you're into different kinds of fragrances and you wouldn't mind something heavily woody with mineral aspects in it. Beach Hut. In the category of the top 3 fragrances of July, and I could have easily put some of the ones we've talked about in this category, but for the sake of not being redundant, we're going to start off with the beautiful Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess. This is the 2017 Eau de Parfum concentration. There are a lot of versions of this out there, including the skin scent, the Eau Fraiche, which I enjoy, but it doesn't last long. It's still a nice fragrance. This here, though, it's like if Terracotta and Lieb, YSL Lieb, and maybe like Leclat, La Vie Belle Leclat, had a baby. Everything that's feminine about all those fragrances, everything that's tropical and floral about all of those fragrances mixed into one. Heavy dose of white and yellow florals, a beautiful coconut in here that's very creamy and soft, a very vanillic kind of a fragrance. It's heavy. It has so much presence. It's sweet, it's deep. This is probably another surprise as well. By the way, the bottle, if you're looking for it, you want to look for the bottle that's opaque and it's bronze and it has the ridged cap and the turquoise. And again, 2017 Eau de Parfum concentration. I adore this, feel beautiful. This is great for any time of year, and especially in the summer, the summery aspects, the tropical aspects of it really shine in the heat. Another absolutely underrated beauty. In fact, I've heard some people not like this. Again, you know, to each their own, but I just don't understand. It is Olympea Legend. So I have the intense version. I have tried the original, still wondering if I want a bottle of the original. Some days I do, some days I don't. This has a gorgeous fruity opening with a plum and an apricot mixed together into this dark, juicy, fruity opening. And then as that begins to calm down, it meshes into this vanilla ice cream smell. I'm talking Breyers, y'all. Like pure vanilla bean kind of ice cream that's rich, it's creamy, it's luscious. This plays so beautifully on the skin. I just adore this. So another super like date night, highly feminine fragrance. Love this. Olympea Legend. Then listen, I have to report out on one of the bottles that I purchased as a result of the series of videos that I'm calling Is It Blind Buy Worthy or something like that. I've done 3 of those so far. And at first I said I didn't need a full bottle of it, but that I did think it was full bottle worthy. And then shortly after filming that video, I went and got it because I couldn't stop thinking about it. And it is Musk Therapy from Initio. This has showed up on the discount sites. So, you know, do I think any bottle is worth 300 plus? To each their own, not for me. I mean, something has to like blow my mind. And although I love these fragrances, I wouldn't say any of them like blow my mind, okay? But this one comes close. The thing that I said in the video is that it reminded me quite a lot of Skin from Clean. Well, this is the Clean Reserve version. I have the original Skin as well. They're slightly different. The main differences between these two is that this is heavier on the citrus, at least at the opening and into the body of the fragrance, whereas this one leans more in like the clean skin direction, like you're freshly showered, with a little bit of a praline. So there's a sweetness in here from the praline note. This one is more citrusy, and both of these are heavily musky. The musk in here is so elegant, so pretty. Again, a crowd pleaser in this house. There's a hedione note in here, which is said to have aphrodisiac-like properties. I haven't quite tested that out, but husband does enjoy this. And I adore these. So it's worth having both. They're similar, but this is heavier on the citrus if that's of interest to you. So gorgeous fragrance. In the category of my middle or matte fragrances, I'm going to start off with Gucci Guilty Absolute Pour Femme. I do enjoy this fragrance. My problem with it is it doesn't last the longest. And the opening is pretty, and I'd love for the opening to stay throughout. This is a sweet, fruity, rosy, patchouli, woody kind of a fragrance. Starts off super strong and then gets kind of close to the skin and just sort of sits there and gets slightly flat into the deep middle and base. So I think I'm going to be putting this one up for sale, sorry to say. The next one is one that I think is probably mean of me to put in this category because I do like it, but compared to the other fragrances that I wore, it's maybe on the softer side, and it does last. Again, it doesn't last the longest, which is usually a theme with my middle fragrances, but I like it and it's staying in the collection and I do enjoy wearing it. I just enjoy some of my other July fragrances much more, and it's Sunkissed Hibiscus by Nest. I really do like the Nest bottles. I think they're super cool. I want to try a few more from this line. I have minis of indigo and a few others, and I keep testing them and wondering if I want them. But anyway, so this fragrance has coconut and frangipani and tuberose, and it has a soft, cloudy base to it. It becomes a comforting scent. I think this is one of the more mature summer fragrances that I have, meaning that it's not as playful as some of the other like coconut types of fragrances. It does have like this ambery base to it, so that's something to keep in mind, but it's such a cute bottle, and I enjoy wearing it when I do, but not as much as the other. And then the third in my matte category is one that I recently talked about in my green fragrances category and also in my Robert Piguet video. It's Fautour, and it is a deeply green, like a wet, woody green fragrance. And it has some animalic touches to it that can make it a little bit overbearing. So when I wear this, even though I like a lot of aspects about this, the fact that other people around me don't enjoy it makes it a challenging fragrance that I should probably just wear when I'm alone. But yeah, so in that sense, this is a middle category fragrance. Then in the bottom three, I'm gonna start off with a fragrance that I really enjoyed when I first got it. No one in this house enjoys it. It is said to be very similar to Oud Satin Moon by Francis Kurkdjian. Another one that doesn't go over well in my house. Neither the samples nor any of the dupes do people like around here. I don't know what's wrong with the people in this house. But it is L'Extase Rose Absolue from Nina Ricci. I've worn this quite a bit. I mean, I guess, can you kind of sort of tell us down here somewhere? I probably just need to give this away to someone. When I have worn this, people are not enjoying it. So, you know, if I'm honest with myself, I probably like other rose fragrances more than this. So I don't like this enough to like battle the attitude that I get in this house when I wear this and people can't stand it. So we have had our time together. Honey, it is time for you to be rehomed and make someone else happy. Next is from Dua, and it is Carnal Desire, which is inspired by Carnal Flower from Frederic Malle. I really like Carnal Flower a lot. It's a very heavily spicy, sensual kind of a fragrance. I don't know if I'll get the original. Those bottles are probably too overpriced for my taste. And this dupe, I enjoyed it, but another one that no one liked in this house. They all thought that I smelled just weird. I don't think they like the spiciness in here. I don't think they like the carnal aspects of it. So yeah, this is gonna have to find a new home or be sold. And then the last one for the chopping block, and then I have two more categories and we'll close out, I promise, is a bottle that I never had, but I added to cart many times, especially when I saw it go on sale. I did end up buying a travel spray of it, and I used up the travel spray in Cabo, and it is Creed's Virgin Island Water. Beautiful lime, coconut, boozy kind of a fragrance. It doesn't last long. I sprayed it on, well, and I think I got a few hours out of it, and that was it. And listen, for the price of that fragrance, it's a no for me. I have some nice dupes. I have Hawaii Volcano from Alexandria Fragrances that is beautiful and a great performer in comparison to that. And I also have Malibu Party in the Bay from Simone Andreoli, which is gorgeous, even better than Virgin Island Water, in my opinion. In the category of overhyped fragrance, don't throw tomatoes at the screen. I'm just telling you how I feel. I do enjoy this fragrance, by the way, and it's staying in the collection. But I don't understand with Narciso Ambree how people have these like orgasmic reviews where they're losing their mind, they're moaning and groaning about how beautiful it is. I don't quite understand that with this fragrance. Is it beautiful? Is it pretty? Is it a lovely summertime, actually year-round fragrance? Absolutely. Heavy on the yellow florals. It's powdery. It's musky. There's some white florals in there too. Some hints of sweetness. Pretty. I'm keeping it. I guess I just don't understand the like over-the-top praise for this fragrance. So in that sense, does it deserve love? Yes. Is it overhyped? Yeah. I don't get that. And then my hidden gem is, and I've talked about this one, Coconut Palm from Mix Bar at Target. Most of the Mix Bar fragrances that I've tried are really lovely. There is a whipped almond one that I want to pick up, and I think a hibiscus one that I'm considering. The hibiscus one is a little too like Victoria's Secret-ish for me, but I think I want it. The whipped almond is so lovely. I need it. But this here, such a pretty light. There's coconut, right? Imagine like Cloud from Ariana Grande without the sponge, sugary, airy aspects. Like if it was more grounded, it might give you something like this. And if you threw in a little bit more of a powdery aspect, powdery, musky aspect. Such a pretty little gem, under $20 and easy to just like spray, overspray, go to town on this one and enjoy it. Smells great in the air and people will love it. So y'all, that's my July fragrance video. I didn't even get to show you everything that I wore in July and we're already at a super long video here. But you know, we only have so much time and I only have so many categories. Do let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite fragrance in the month of July was. And thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, my friends.